Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're decoding the human body's ultimate user manual. Think about your body for just a second. We honestly take it for granted until, well, something goes wrong, right? Let's totally shift that perspective. We're going to treat our health like this magnificent, complex fortress, one that we've got to actively build, reinforce, and defend every single day.
All right, let's dive right in and bust a major myth using the World Health Organization's own definition. So many of us kind of just assume that if we wake up and don't have a cough or a fever, we're healthy. But true health? It's an active, multi-layered pursuit. Sure, it's physical, but it's also about your mental state and your social well-being. It's about building a really robust foundation, not just temporarily dodging a cold. So here's our roadmap for This Explainer. We're going to start by redefining true health. Then we'll identify communicable diseases and look at the rise of lifestyle diseases. After that, we'll explore our body's defense system and finally wrap up with antibiotics and their risks. Let's get to it.
Section 1. Redefining True Health.
You know, health is really a two-way street. On one side, you've got your personal lifestyle habits, eating a balanced diet with plenty of whole grains, getting enough sleep to let your mind actually recover, and maybe managing stress through yoga or meditation. But look at this comparison, a neat, green playground next to a dirty, polluted one. Your health isn't just about what you put into your body. It's absolutely dependent on the cleanliness of your external environment. You could eat all the right foods, but if your surroundings are toxic, your fortress is fundamentally compromised. So the crucial takeaway here is that environmental factors directly impact the structural integrity of our fortress. Scientists actually measure this using something called the Air Quality Index, or AQI. When there's just too much vehicle exhaust or factory smoke, this number spikes, and that's what leads to respiratory issues like asthma. Basically, the lower the AQI number, the cleaner the air. It's a great reminder that taking care of our environment is literally a vital part of taking care of ourselves.
Section 2. Identifying Communicable Diseases.
Now, over in the medical world, there's a very clear dividing line. On one side, we have communicable diseases. These are your outside invaders, pathogens like bacteria and viruses that jump right from person to person. Think COVID-19 or the flu. On the flip side, we have non-communicable diseases. These guys don't spread. Instead, they develop from within, usually linked to things like a poor diet, a sedentary lifestyle, or hanging around in a polluted environment for too long. So how do these external invaders exploit the breach points in our fortress? Well, they travel through the air in tiny droplets when someone sneezes. They hitch a ride through direct contact, like when we shake hands. Sometimes they sneak in through contaminated food and water. And then there are insects, like mosquitoes carrying dengue or malaria, which act like literal Trojan horses, bypassing our outer defenses and getting straight into our bloodstream. Crazy, right? But here's the good news. We don't have to just sit back and take it. We can reinforce our gates and block these transmission routes with incredibly simple everyday habits. Washing your hands with soap? That literally destroys invaders right on your skin. Wearing a mask in a crowded area acts as a solid physical shield. Consuming properly cooked food and boiled water neutralizes those threats way before they enter your gut. And mosquito nets? That simply denies the enemy their favorite way inside.
Section 3. The Rise of Lifestyle Diseases.
I want you to consider the incredible Indian biomedical researcher Dr. Kamal Ranadive. Her groundbreaking work was absolutely essential in waking up the medical community to the fact that poor diet, tobacco use, and environmental pollution drastically increase the risk of internal, non-communicable diseases, specifically cancer. She really showed how our lifestyle basically creates an environment inside the body where these chronic diseases can either thrive or be suppressed. And today, in places like India, non-communicable diseases are actually the most common cause of death. But don't lose hope, because conditions like obesity, diabetes, and high blood pressure can largely be managed or even prevented completely just by patching up our daily lifestyle choices. Eating a low-sugar diet, staying physically active, and keeping stress in check through meditation, those are the exact structural reinforcements your body desperately needs to prevent an internal collapse. Section 4. Our body's defense system. Now, let's say a germ actually gets inside. You are not defenseless. Far from it. Your body has a built-in, highly coordinated standing army, and we call it the immune system. It's this incredible network of special cells, tissues, and organs designed to constantly patrol your bloodstream, spot foreign microbial invaders, and absolutely destroy them. Honestly, often before you even realize you've been exposed. This natural fighting ability is exactly what we mean when we talk about immunity.
Here is a fantastic bit of history. Back in the 1700s, Dr. Edward Jenner made this really fascinating observation. He noticed that milkmaids, who had caught a mild disease from cows called cowpox, seemingly never caught the deadly human disease smallpox. By using material from a cowpox sore, he helped a person's body build immunity safely. This brilliant little observation led to the creation of the world's very first vaccine, which eventually eradicated smallpox entirely. It's truly one of science's greatest victories. To put this back into the context of our fortress, vaccines essentially act as a highly classified training manual for your immune army. They give your body cells a harmless preview of the enemy, using weakened germs or maybe just an inactive piece of the pathogen. And this trains your immune system to build what's known as acquired immunity. That way, if the real, dangerous pathogen ever decides to attack, your defenses already know exactly how to strike back, instantly and effectively.
Section 5. Antibiotics and their risks. You know what's absolutely wild? Our most powerful medical weapon against bacteria was discovered completely by accident. Back in 1928, a bacteriologist named Alexander Fleming noticed that some green mold growing on one of his lab plates had actually stopped harmful bacteria from multiplying. That mold released a substance that became known as penicillin, the world's first antibiotic. It was just a total chance discovery, but it has since saved millions upon millions of lives by curing deadly bacterial infections.
Now, antibiotics are practically a miracle, but they definitely come with a catch. If we misuse these medical weapons, like taking them when we don't actually need them, the enemy adapts. The antibiotic goes in, right, and it kills all the weak bacteria. But it leaves behind the rare few that have developed a natural resistance to the drug. And with all the weak guys out of the way, these resistant survivors now have plenty of room to multiply unchecked. Suddenly, common infections become almost impossible to treat, all because our antibiotics simply stop working entirely. And this creates a terrifying domino effect. This isn't just a you problem, it's a societal one. These resistant superbugs, they don't just stay with the person who misused the medicine. They spread. They spread through crop field manure, animal food products, dirty hospital surfaces, and just direct contact. A resistance born in one single improperly treated infection can quickly circulate right into the general community, and that threatens the structural integrity of everyone's fortress.
So the crucial point here is that we have to protect the effectiveness of our weapons by using them responsibly. You should really only use antibiotics when they are explicitly prescribed by a doctor. And you must always complete the full course. Even if you wake up feeling completely fine on day 3, keep taking them so you wipe out every last bacteria and leave 0 survivors to mutate. Avoid expired medicines, and most importantly, never ever take an antibiotic for a viral infection like the common cold or the flu. It simply won't work on a virus, and you're just fueling future resistance. Well, we've reached the end of this explainer, and I want to leave you with one ultimate question. We've seen today that health isn't just luck, it's deliberate architecture. We have these incredible tools from clean environments to vaccines and antibiotics, but the foundation? That relies entirely on your daily choices. Medicine might be able to cure you once the walls are breached, but only your lifestyle choices can prevent the invasion in the first place. So ask yourself today, are you actively building a healthy fortress, or are you kind of just hoping for the best while leaving the gates wide open? Think about it. Catch you next time.